Yo, bro.
Yo, bro.
Yo, bro.
What's up?
Dude,
Yeah.
just got back from the gym and my shoes are extra tight right now. I gotta take these off.
As in, like, you've been on your feet and you're swelling?
Yeah,
Like
but
a nurse
here's the
after
thing.
13 hours?
So, I got bunions, and I just got
I
those
wasn't going to
shoes.
put you on blast in front of the people like that, but that's good. It's good to be up
So
front.
I got those wide toe shoes,
Yeah.
but I can't do legs in those.
You can't do legs in them. Because they're like running shoes. They're wobbly.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I still have to use the old Chuck Taylor.
Yes, sir. You got to keep them
But-
flat.
There is no toe box in this shoe.
No, it's negative toe box.
So I'm taking these off, dude, and I'm ready to freaking get into it.
I'm just saying, man, one of the beautiful joys of doing what we do. No dress code. You want to
No
rock the
dress code.
bunions out? Let them breathe, brother. Nothing
Well,
wrong with that.
Well, you know I'm a shoe guy,
I hear you.
and switching to those shoes, it's a big thing for me, man. So like I go into the office and I'm rocking those shoes. It's like I'm.
Bro, you're damn
like I'm
near
wearing-
30, man.
Would
You turn 30 this year? Or did you turn 30 last year? No, you're 29.
I think I turned 30 this year.
So wait, do you,
Yeah, this year.
you wear the Chucks just to work out though, right?
Correct.
Why'd you wear them to the office? Like you can't just bring an extra pair of shoes in?
No, I'm saying the other shoes, the wide toe box shoes.
Gotcha.
They're like these Steve Jobs specials.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if you, I just picture like the nice, fresh, ultra white pair of New Balances that dads be mowing the yard in that turn a little green with a fresh mow. That's basically what he's
God.
wearing over there. So I understand the hesitation. I get it. And that's coming from a not shoe guy.
Oh yeah, we know.
All right. You don't got it. All right. Hey, what do we
Anyway,
got, bro?
you excited for a nice chat today?
Hell yeah. What do we got?
What do we got?
Well, we can't roll the clip today because gamers aren't angry. Gamers are actually
Ooh.
pretty happy about this one. So
I like
you know,
that.
been on a little bit of a trend of negativity lately, probably on some of these, but so it was just announced that Gray Zone Warfare, they just announced their kind of brief playthrough and some of the footage of the tactical gameplay within the game. Why that does excite people is if you are getting a little sick and tired of maybe some of the decisions made by a company known by Battle State Games, and you say, you know what, I wish someone else would make their own version of Tarkov. That's why
Okay.
we're excited, because Gray Zone Warfare, they are attempting to do that, and they are now releasing gameplay footage and trailers.
Oh, so that's what this is. This is a Tarkov competitor.
To an extent.
Okay.
To an extent, it is undoubtedly going to get compared to Tarkov, whether or not they want that to be the case. It is just probably it's the next thing in the genre, and people just can't help themselves these days, you know, from comparing. And unfortunately, you know, to an extent, it's always going to be apples to oranges because Tarkov's been cooking in the oven for 7 years now, and that's no exaggeration. It's
Is it cooked? Is it
January
even cooking?
2017, bro.
Is it even cooking anymore though, or is it just left
It's
in there?
still an early access game.
I think the pilot
So-
lights out, bro. I think at any point the whole thing's gonna explode.
Did you ever see that clip of Gordon Ramsay and his mom, and they're comparing cakes?
Yeah.
She's like, "Is that cooked in the middle?" He's like, "Yeah." She's like, "From my angle, I saw it sinking like the Titanic."
See, I had more the
God,
image
it's
of
Um,
Nikita burning at the stove like in Billy Madison
Yeah,
when Eric's trying to make the pie. That's how long it's been in there.
that's fair.
So this is an instance-based shooter.
Yes, it's
I
going to
coined
be
that
a
term.
extraction shooter of
Yeah.
sorts, and it's going to be a little hard for me to. I'm going to navigate around this, but I have seen more than what everyone else has seen. I had a nice long meeting with the devs a couple of weeks ago, so I'm going to try and just speak specifically to what they've released here on Twitter. If A wants to roll a couple of things, and we'll
Yeah.
talk it through for the listeners.
Do we want sound with this or no?
Probably not.
I didn't think we did.
What do we got?
This didn't hide my taskbar, so no, I can't see it. There we go.
We got sound.
You got sound, but
I got sound. That's cool.
Okay. So
Cool. I
it's a
just told him
guy-
not to do that. That's okay.
It's a
you know?
guy. Go ahead, Storm. You take the lead on this.
So we have a nice little C grip on a rifle. It looks pretty static as he moves. Not a whole lot of bob. Little red dot on top, it seems. 1x. He's moving through a jungle. Taking a couple of shots out at, it looks like other PMC type. It looks like AI would be my assumption. Throwing a few shots. It looks like basically like a jungle village with some cement. He is crouched. He's also showing off prone. He shows off a reload. Pretty standard for what you would come to expect. There's probably not going to be a whole lot of frills on this at the launch, but same for Tarkov. I remember because I was there. In all honesty, Tark has come a very long way. But I will say, I will provide this exclusive quote to the people out there. They really want to focus. They don't want to lose sight of, I'm paraphrasing here, they don't want to lose sight of fun when it comes to the development of this game. And that they are specifically not Nikita. Quote, okay. Paraphrase, quote unquote.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah, when I heard that, I was particularly excited because, you know, I think Tarkov specifically has delved so far into the realm of realism, and then even veered off to the side from that to specifically combat cheating and RMT, that the holistic approach to making a video game fun has been occluded completely. And it doesn't really drive a lot of decisions that get made on the day-to-day over a battle state, in my opinion. To you know, Nikita's credit, specifically claims that the game is not meant to be fun. He's quoted having said that on a podcast. It is what it is. It's a military simulation game. But okay. I think what he fails to remember is that it's a game, and that we're all video game players. We're all looking to, you know, remove ourselves from the day-to-day and get lost in something enjoyable, a piece of media, a piece of art, that ultimately we're looking to be fun. So if a game comes through with that specific specification and scope and they execute, I think we could see something special here. You know, I think it's going to be like a drop in, kill some things, do a mission, load back out. I think it's going to be very tactical in the sense where it's more similar to like more about the setup and the rather than like FPS prowess, thinking through like how do we attack this situation to be successful for the desired outcome, get out alive, get our stuff. Kind of similar to like the way you would approach a Metal Gear Solid 5 mission. I think that's the comparison that they're going with. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be different. I don't think it's, if you're expecting Tarkov, you're probably going to be disappointed because it's not exactly what this is. But there will be PvEVP. So same kind of deal. You will have to fight other PMCs. We will see what the consistency or expectation of outcomes going to be, and if that is consistent throughout your play experience. We'll see. There are going to be like different servers. I'm not sure if they've even decided on how they're going to tackle that, but hopefully we see high fidelity, high tick rate servers and some sort of meaningful anti-cheat out the box. And if they can deliver on those couple of things and just develop the game, you know, across the lifespan and put in all the extra stuff, all the quality of life changes, all of the, you know, little, you know, ticky-tack animations looking like really clean in third person, like all these things that get added after the fact, I think that would be fine. I think that's probably their best bet as far as route is concerned. But we will see. Time will tell.
So, not to harp on realism too much, but Abe, can you click back into that video and show me when he's holding the gun at a hip fire position? Yeah, right there's fine.
Right there.
You think the thumb is a bit high? The thumb pad?
Yeah, it's a C grip.
He's like this. Yeah, I understand that, but he's more like a N grip right there, like almost coming over it.
You know,
he's like super.
At a certain point, you begin to lose sensation, and so you got to grip it a little tighter. And I think that's what we're seeing here is the end outcome of that.
He's been gripping it too tight for too long, is what you're saying. So now he's got to loosen that grip. Okay.
It's a lonely life these PMCs lead, I'll tell you.
Yeah. This is a seasoned PMC as well, so it's like this is his first rodeo.
Well, I think it looks good. Do you know what engine they're using?
I believe
I do not.
It is Unreal.
Okay.
I do believe it's Unreal.
Huh.
I think it's interesting that you mentioned anti-cheat too. I would love to see more games use what the Cycle did from an anti-cheat perspective right out of the gate. I don't know about the rest of the game. It will be specifically
possible. They are going to launch on Steam, for better or worse. Yep. And as a result, they can absolutely use the same system that I recommended to the Cycle Frontier once upon a time, Steam Trusted Queue, which requires a user to have a certain amount of games on their account that they've purchased with real life money, a certain amount of time on there, no bans for any games, no VAC bans on file for CS or Rust servers or anything like that. A lot of crosstalk between different game populations that way. And what this does is it prevents someone from making a Steam account, buying the game, playing the game, getting banned, and then instantly spooling up a new one. This was especially important for the Cycle because the Cycle was a free-to-play game. This is not going to be free-to-play, so there is a barrier of entry here, so it is slightly different. The need for this is probably slightly lower as a result. But if we do start to see an emergence of real money transactions, that would be a huge deterrent because most of the time when you have RMT in a game, which then drives cheating, what ends up happening is they will continue to buy the game repeatedly, just like they do on Tarkov, because it's still financially prudent for them. They're making enough money to just, it doesn't matter. They don't get banned fast enough to make it not worth repurchasing. This would eliminate that. They would need trusted Steam accounts. So if we do see the RMTs start to take hold on this game, if the risk reward is high enough, which hopefully it is, then that would be my suggested action is the trusted use. So we will see. Obviously we've seen this work very well in the past, and it will be my suggestion to the dev team if it's appropriate.
Do we know the pricing?
I don't think we have a price on this yet. I can take a quick look. Yeah, it's UE5. And then price on release.
Well, I think
taking a quick peek. Go ahead.
I think it would probably be, if it's going to be in the same realm as Tarkov, how much is Tarkov?
It depends.
Like $50.
50.
Yeah, $50
I'm
probably.
gonna say 35. I'm gonna say $35 for this.
I think
game.
that's where they should. I think that's where they should land as well.
That seems to be where a lot of games like this come out at, in that $30 to $40 range.
Yeah, I mean, people are essentially, by purchasing the game, signing up to become a tester. We'll see what the returns look like early. We'll see what the reviews look like early. And honestly, when you're on Steam, the key to keeping that, solid review ratio high is transparency and honesty. And if you can provide that through quality community engagement, then you have a real fighting chance for this genre. But if that is something that is specifically overlooked, I think they will struggle significantly with the amount of returns and get review bombed into oblivion. So hopefully they have a solid plan for the first few weeks of release, along with a PR or marketing plan to address anything that may come up as quickly as possible.
I think that's a good thing to keep in mind, because a lot of devs don't do that. So
and if they tune into Plug Podcast, they just got all that consulting for free. You're welcome.
Yeah. And then they won't end up on our website, rotten cabbages. And
Yo, I thought we weren't going to talk about that project anymore, but hold on.
Speaking of Unreal Engine, I think I see a nice flow here, Abe. So why don't we
Yeah, we could
there?
jump ahead to that for sure.
Yeah.
So with Unreal Engine, they actually just announced that they will be making some changes to their pricing model.
This is very interesting, by the way.
As we talked about, Unity did this too, and it was
Right.
disastrous because they really went money grubbing on their pricing model update, and it was very unclear. A lot of words that you just heard Mark talk about for why how games can succeed and how things can succeed from a review perspective. They did the opposite: lack of transparency, lack of explanation as to the reasoning they did things like that. Unreal seems to be pretty open about why they're doing some of these things at the moment, but essentially they're creating a secondary pricing model that
Wait,
will
hold on,
only
don't go too far into it yet.
Okay.
Markstrom,
Yes, sir.
Unreal Engine.
First and foremost, I'm gonna you cut Abe off. I'm cutting you off.
Okay.
Uno reverse card. The difference always in this case is that Unity provides a dog shit product and UE5 is the greatest product on the face of the earth. Okay. I just had to get that out of my system. You know, it's in my DNA to say it. So now go ahead.
So who do you think is going to get hit with this pricing update? Did you look into it yet or no?
I haven't looked at all. I have no idea.
Okay.
This is news to me.
So it's a gaming engine. Are you familiar with how they charge right now? If you're
we talked
using
about it, but I couldn't tell you off the top.
So
it's essentially a royalty threshold.
Right.
I believe it's a royalty threshold. I think it's $1 million if you're a gaming studio. However, there was a lot of people starting to use Unreal Engine for other things. Virtual production, post effects.
I know
all sorts of stuff.
Right.
So they were like, well, we can't let these guys have all this free fun. Right. Even though we're making a product great for them. It's kind of respectable, honestly. But they said, we can't let this slice of the pie go eaten. We have to leave it there. We have to let it ripen, and then we have to charge people for it. So
figure out how good our tools are first, and then
Yep. Exactly. So now they're keeping that same threshold, I believe.
Okay.
But if you are using it at all,
right,
not just gaming, if you are using it at all and making more than $1 million, you are paying for it now. Is that correct, Abe?
So it is. Yeah. So it actually doesn't have a money threshold on the new pricing system.
Are you sure about that?
That's
Are you sure about that?
That's not what my research. Maybe they have a threshold for when it kicks in, but they are keeping the legacy threshold for gaming intact in the royalty system they're using today. They're adding an additional type of subscription that applies to people like filmmakers and automakers that aren't using it for game production. And how that works is it's going to be a per seat charge is what they did in their seats. I don't know if that starts at $1 million or how that works. I just know that their pricing model will be based on per seat, because I also think it's hard to pin a value to post-production work on a music video or something like that.
Correct.
So that is becoming it's becoming a charge per seat, active seat that has access to the software.
So that's the interesting part is, say I am a company that uses Unreal Engine to whatever capacity, and I make $1,100,000, but I only used Unreal Engine for, I don't know, a half of a commercial, not even one scene in a commercial.
How do you decide?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think it's super detailed yet, but
you just make a shell LLC, and then that specific thing gets charged to the other LLC, and then your price is.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I see. That's after I read this update. That's
what everyone's going to do. I mean, that it took me 2 seconds to figure out the loophole here.
Yep, correct. But then here's the next thing. It seems like, so they're doing something cool as well besides that. And I respect that. Unreal Engine is a great, great product, and it's a business. Right. So get your bread. For 5.3, if you stay on 5.3 and don't go further, there's no seat cost, and you're just baked into whatever it was before this pricing update. So it seems like 5.4 is coming out.
So many great new tools, though, and
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, Unreal Engine is so good at 5.3.
Salivating, bro.
What is in it? What else is coming?
Yeah.
I think they also wiped out the fee for educators as well. So if you're using it in school, cool. Like in things like that, they don't have a per seat fee.
What if you're making more than $1 million? I
don't think it matters. I think as long as it's the university and it's used for teaching purposes and things like that.
Oh, it has
their
to be
CEO actually came out.
Accredited university isn't making more. Come on.
Well, yeah, exactly.
They're well over the threshold.
The exact there actually, I'm reading more about this too. They have not announced what the threshold is, but they said certain projects out below a certain amount of money, they can still also obtain it for free. But their CEO is very adamant to make sure that he said that people like educators and things like that will still continue to get free access.
Interesting.
Well,
what if you make free content that's educational, but then make ad revenue on it because it's on YouTube?
Well, see, now you're finding all the loopholes.
I'm just,
I don't know.
That's the problem with doing this, though, because just like Unity, it's like, all right, but what if some scumbag just uninstalls and reinstalls your game 1 million times if you're going to do a per install fee? Like, what are we doing here?
Well, I think
somebody think this through.
I think per install is a little more wild than what this is.
Obviously, the Unity is the extreme case, but interesting.
At the end of the day, if they figure it out a little more, I have no problem with them charging fees for production and all that stuff, especially when it's been free forever. It still is free, basically. Like you just said, you found
the
one of
tools
the
that have existed until now are free, right? For eternity.
Correct.
And so, I mean, they're definitely doing things that are going like they've made the concessions necessary to not receive backlash. Or at least meaningful enough backlash. So.
Yep, I think this is fine. I think more power to them. Good job.
One little caveat too. This does come on the heels of them laying off 830 employees in September of last year.
Yeah,
but who's not?
Correct. Correct. It's rough out there.
I can't even add that to the pig pile just because who's not?
I'm actually not even picking on them for it. I think there's a reason that they did this, and it's because they're realizing that they're bleeding profits in an area that is very profitable.
Yeah.
And therefore they're like, this is an easy way that's fair for us to be able to, increase revenue.
Yeah.
I think it's fair too.
I don't know if they're bleeding profits. Maybe they could make more.
Well, I mean, they have a whole subset of people getting it for free that they could be charging.
That's
what it means by that.
It's still an epic marketplace that goes into Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
That unless you are a genius at modeling and multiple softwares and physics, you're probably spending a bit of bread on that store.
Yeah, good
luck. But more power to them. Good stuff. And here's another segue for you. Unreal Engine is a great tool for post effects. And guess who is killing the VFX right now? How about that?
Well, we have someone who's, I was just going to say, we have someone who had firsthand experience. Go ahead.
What's new over there?
Take it away, Mark.
Bro, I got a recommendation. I got a little homework for the viewers, for the listeners. Dune 2 is the single greatest cinematic experience of my lifetime. I'm going to say it right here.
Experience.
Right now.
Wow.
I'm a bit of a movie guy. I'll say it. I've been a movie guy.
Your taste is whack, though.
Excuse me?
I'm gonna keep it.
Well, now I need to know your top 3 after we're done talking about this. But
most of them are Tarantino films. Big guy.
Okay.
So keep going. Sorry about that.
The cinematography in this film, with the budget that it has, is a combination that we do not see in modern day movie making.
What was the budget? Do you know the budget?
Massive. I don't know. I don't know the exact number.
Oh, okay.
But it was.
I'm sure I could find that out. I'll look now.
Sizable.
Yeah.
When someone goes crazy and does the sizable budget, it's for a Marvel film these days because it's a franchise that is like pre-established that everyone is going to pop off on just from the pure pre-established fandom. And I'll be honest, like Dune in the sci-fi world is important to like a real niche community of nerds. And outside of that, it's not comparable, especially to something like Marvel.
Okay.
the films that get made for Marvel do not have an ounce of cinematic expertise by comparison. They are clown films for clown people. I'm gonna say it, bro.
Hold on. You're 99% correct.
Really? I just saw the look on your face, and so I had to drop that final line. I don't actually believe that, but I just trying to rile you up.
All right, go ahead, and then I'll tell you why I'm saying 99%. But keep going.
I think so in a Marvel film, they push the boundaries of tech for the sake of making something look crazy or impressive for like the shock and awe value. Mm-hmm. But I think their artistic approach is non-existent, and that's really where Dune 2 shines, because it is a masterpiece in the art of cinematography and the way that they capture the viewer and immerse you in a completely different universe. Bro, when I tell you I went into that movie, the movie ended, the credits rolled, I thought 5 minutes passed. I'm dead ass. The first thing I said to Alex, it's like a 3-hour movie. First thing I said to Alex, I was like, I feel like we just sat down. I was transported, brother. Mr. Villeneuve had me twisted.
Who the heck is that?
The director.
The director.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, first off, 190 is actually not that crazy. 190 for a budget. It's not that crazy.
When you look at the risk aversion of modern day studios, that is definitely like upper echelon, and that's kind of money that only gets slung around for projects that they know are going to like go nuts.
Well, Dune is not just cinema. I mean, it's not just a master of visual. It's also a master of sound design as well.
It was so good that it was almost distracting. You know how
you don't want that.
I
don't
know,
want it distracting.
but because we know how the sausage gets made in a certain sense, you're thinking about some things like that, and I was like, it's like the theater that I went to wasn't an insanely like high tech theater. It wasn't like on the sound design of the theater. It didn't have anything crazy going on. It wasn't an IMAX. It didn't have, extras in the tech department for the physical tech.
Okay.
But the way that they recorded and injected sound into this film was nuts. It was so cool.
I gotta see it. Well, do you know, I don't know if we talked about it on the cast, but if we're talking about visual effects, first off, I've watched a documentary on them and the way they came up with like the design of the ships and stuff like that. Absolutely awesome. You can tell that they have people that love the craft working with them, how passionate they are to get it right. And they look into the lore and what would make sense and what wouldn't make sense. But visual effects, for those who don't know what a green screen is something that you put behind a subject, and it's green because it's most likely there's not going to be green in your shot at all. So they pick a color that they can take an eyedropper tool, select green, and wipe all green from the scene. There's no green on your face. There's usually no green in your clothes. If there is green in your clothes, they use a blue screen. Basically, the point is I'm going to eyedrop that color and remove it from the scene.
For the sake of the removal of the background, so you can put whatever background you want there.
So they pick an absurd color like that because it's not in the scene at all anywhere else except on the screen. So, but the thing about green and blue screens is they kind of reflect a little bit of color onto you. So then you got to do extra work, blah, blah, blah. You don't want that reflection onto you. So what they did with Dune is absurdly crazy for the team that had to do the post effects, because they didn't use green screens. They used what they called sand screens. They're tan colored screens that basically match everyone's skin tone. How the heck did they pull out the backgrounds if they use sand screens? And if you look at this video we're about to show you, you can see that basically they had to do a crap ton of what is called rotoscoping, where they cut everyone out from the scene by hand or by some type of program, and that's very, very, very difficult and time
I think you
consuming.
might need to get rotoscope soon, bro.
Go click this video, Abe, if you
Do you
don't
want
mind.
sound or no?
No sound. So you can see why they use sand screen, because the whole thing is in the desert. So with a scene like this, that's a sand screen. We could see them remove the sand screen, but as this plays, for the people watching, look at the people's hair they have to cut out, and you'll see exactly why it's crazy. I think one of these next ones coming up, you'll see someone's, maybe Timothée Chalamet's hair. You can't, I don't know what that thing is. You can't cut out hair by hand. It's so straggly. Like that's why you need a green screen, so you could just pick a color and remove it. When you go to cut out hair by hand, that is absolutely absurd. Look right here. How the heck do they cut out that person's hair? I have maybe that guy did it. But anyway,
he looks pretty pleased with himself.
Yeah, that guy definitely did it. Anyway, the VFX, they were the first ever company that used sand screens. Yeah, you don't have to. You can get rid of that.
What does it say? We done here?
That's an advertisement.
This looks like an ad. Yeah.
Don't have to play that.
We've been on.
They were the first movie company to use a sand screen. So they are innovating in that. They're innovating in sound design. They're innovating in the story and the cinematic experience.
It was cool
and
in
I'm
that video.
Super excited.
In that video, they actually discussed the fact that like one of the things they had to sacrifice was some of the saturation of the film. And so some of the because what they ended up doing is they used the inverse, which is why they had the color wheel up there. And because they were using like the inverse to like remove a lot of stuff, it took a lot of color with it. And so some of the scenes were a little bit less saturated, but for the sake of every single reflection being correct in the film without having to worry about it, not having to remove it or anywhere, they felt like it was worth it. And I'd have to agree. I thought it was sick.
Yeah.
And you didn't notice like, and I think also like the lack of the saturation in that world on Arrakis made sense.
Yes,
100%
I agree.
within the context of the film. So
yeah, it's basically a desert. You're covered in sand all the time. Your skin color is probably not showing super saturated. Like it's probably covered in dust.
Yeah, and
so it's
and
taking
it
the saturation
really
out.
Was juxtaposed with the eyes of the Fremen who live on Arrakis, because they have bright blue eyes because the spice changes the color.
The spice.
The spice. So that being like the only saturated thing was like really like kind of taking, sick. So film is awesome. Please go see it. Highly recommend. See it in theaters. It's one of those films. I'm not a guy who likes to leave the house. You know what I mean? Slum can attest to that. But yeah, I might even. I'm probably gonna go see it again. Honestly,
I have one more question too that I think is probably on everyone's mind tuning in. Did you get the popcorn bucket?
I asked.
They didn't have it?
No. No. Someone called Sean actually had just wiped them out. I don't know. I don't know this mystery Sean, but yeah, interesting.
I would usually say you have to get up pretty early in the morning to get all that, but I know Sean didn't do that. So
they're maybe they're selling right now on the aftermarket.
Oh, I'm sure eBay's
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know specifically. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't throw something out like that. I'd probably keep that for science. All right. Well, I'm going to go check that out maybe this weekend. But so everyone go check that out. Big fan of Dune. What else we got, Abe?
All right. Well, going to jump into the content creation space. Going to talk about something that was announced recently that I'm excited for. I think a lot of people are. And that is that Jake Paul is going to fight Mike Tyson on Netflix.
I'm very excited for it.
Talk about creating content. It is more exciting because it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yep.
I must say, for this not to be some like scumbag $80 card through some like third-party website that continues to charge you after the fact, that feels good. Because I especially with like the tech issues that a lot of these like companies have that are a hosted event like this, they always go down. It's a headache. The main question from me, I've seen some of the promotional material. Mike Tyson's 57 years old.
Still got it.
Jake Paul, very specifically, has had some very questionable bouts. The legitimacy of them has been questioned multiple times. Do you think that this will be a go ahead, gentlemen, get after it, above board fight? Or do you think that part of this is predetermined?
I think it's absolutely predetermined. I think it's, but I think it's a sparring match, basically, not even.
It is. There's actually, that's one of the controversies surrounding the fight right now, is the fight rules have been written to include headgear for both of them, as well as they're using 18-ounce gloves.
Mm-hmm.
So in the boxing world, that's a much bigger glove, obviously a lot more padding, takes some of the power out of the punches.
Yeah.
And people are already not happy about that. But
now, but keep in
predetermined.
Keep in mind, I still wouldn't want to get punched in the head by Mike Tyson with headgear on and 18-ounce gloves.
Nope.
Also, you guys can say what you want about Jake Paul. He's got a history when he was young and doing his YouTube stuff. Jake Paul is an absolute disruptor in the industry. He is doing things his own way. He's starting his own companies. He's taking money from the big companies and bringing the audience other places to his own stuff. From the outside, I didn't dive too much, but from the outside, he's getting his fighters paid more. Oh, well, here's my dog. But he is absolutely a disruptor in the game, and he works insanely hard. Now, I don't know him personally, so I can't speak on that. But from the outside, he has definitely cleaned his image, done very well with that. I think he stays honed in on his craft. I think he's staying out of the BS that he used to be involved with. And from the outside, I am a fan of Jake Paul. Whether the fights are fake, whether any of that hoopla, whatever, I'm a big fan of him stepping into an old game that has the locks on it that says you can't come in, and basically saying, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to start my own companies. I'm going to pay fighters more, and you're not going to do a thing about it. Big fan of that.
I got to say I agree to a massive extent. I also think there's no doubt that what he's done is impressive and continues to be impressive. His personality is not one that I care for. I don't like the way that he promotes things through controversy. Not a huge fan of that. But that is specifically just because, as like a lifelong mixed martial artist, like it's just not in me. I was, came up a very different way. And so to sit here and act like boxing has always been above board before Jake Paul is absurd. It is these, maybe outside of FIFA, maybe FIFA, I don't know. It might trump FIFA for being the most corrupt organization, has always had absolutely unequivocally predetermined outcomes, super corrupt. And the fighters that are the most impressive or most prevalent or have the best image constantly get protected. They never have to fight anyone meaningful if it means protecting an unbeaten record. And if there is a fight that the people absolutely are forcing to happen, they wait until one of the people are beyond their prime to make it happen. And it's, as a fan, the boxing commissions have done absolutely nothing for us, right? It is 100% to farm their community for money, and specifically for themselves, even more so than their fighters. Fighters are, I think this changed, sometime around like more popular pay-per-view, not late 90s, early 2000s, probably, to where like fighters are actually getting massive purses. Like there's a lot of people who made crazy bank. But it's frustrating to see. So I think the people who look at these Jake Paul fights and say like, yeah, but this is just all bullshit. It's kind of always all been bullshit. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I don't know. If you want something that's a legitimate competition between two people who are on the same level and are giving it their all, watch UFC. Don't watch boxing. What are you doing?
Yeah, I think it's a show, and that's I think a lot of people are actually fine with that too. But
look at the popularity of WWF. Of course, they're fine with it.
Exactly.
They don't care at all.
But does Tyson come
It's
off like the
entertainment,
kind of
bro.
guy?
Go ahead,
Does
David.
Tyson come off like the kind of guy that would throw a fight? Because to me, he doesn't.
At
He
57,
is a
I think
different
anything is
man.
possible.
He's a different man. He's got different motives nowadays.
Very.
I think he's already had a legacy that speaks for itself.
And honestly, what I find weird is like, because he talked on, I think it was Rogan, after his more recent fight. He fought Roy Jones Jr. in some like very BS sparring match.
There were some times where I saw him and he kept after the bell and he kept swinging because he was just in the moment.
Right.
So I don't know.
He didn't feel good after that fight and basically said that he wasn't going to do another one of those fights for the purse.
Yeah.
And so it is irritating to me as a fan of him, or at least his boxing career, not necessarily him as a person. I think he's done obviously some awful things on that front, but we try to remove the artist from the art sometimes. You know, it's frustrating because it's like, all right, bro, like you say one thing and then you do like this is as egregious as it gets on that front, right?
Well, did I haven't watched any of his promotion, but is he saying I'm gonna kill him, I'm gonna rip him apart?
The only promotional thing I saw was the incredibly cringy. It was a commercial where like Mike is wearing a T-shirt and like the contract is on there and he walks up with a Sharpie and signs his shirt.
Well, do you know what that's from?
Not a clue.
Back in his prime, I think it might have been. I don't know who the other boxer was, but he kept calling him out. Can you say that again? I'm sorry.
I was just curious if that pun was intentional, but maybe it wasn't. Prime.
No. Yeah. The boxer kept calling him out, and Mike Tyson kept going, "Sign the contract, buddy. Sign the contract." So it's kind of a play on his past. But I don't see him saying, "I'm going to rip him apart. I'm going to do this." So maybe he's going into it with the mentality of, "I'm going to have some fun and make some money. I'm not in it to kill this kid."
You don't think his defense is impregnable?
I'm the best ever. I will eat your babies.
I eat children. It's a kid.
But so back
he's on
to
like the top. Go ahead.
The Jake Paul thing about him being how he goes about promoting. That's a double-edged sword because that's also how he brings in the like record numbers of pay-per-view. So you talk about someone who's like doing it respectfully and stuff, and I respect it. But if we're talking about bringing in numbers, I think it's a different game and it's a different strat. And obviously, you love to hate the people, so it brings in the numbers.
Also, as like a creator, I do like seeing a creator who is willing to use their leverage as within their reach to make other businesses successful that are within their realm of what they enjoy in life. And I think it's clear that he does enjoy training. He does enjoy boxing. Like, he is passionate about it. This would be his hobby, even if he didn't do this for content. But why not do it for content? Why not create my own organization that hosts fights? And you got
a gambling company.
Yeah, it's
a promotion company
on the fights that he. Maybe we don't touch that one.
He is constantly working, and so he used to say, "You're scared to fight a YouTuber," but it's like, dude, you're not really a YouTuber anymore. You're in the gym every day for the past 6 years.
Said he did fight Fury, and lose
and lost,
and Fury was considered kind of a joke.
Juicer.
No,
not
within the boxing world. He was considered a bit of a joke. Like other
his brother, which Fury? I mean,
his dad
is his dad. Sorry,
but the son that he fought was not considered to be a good boxer.
Maybe I got swept up in
incredibly
the promo.
Amateur.
Wow, I didn't think I had a different
and
opinion
he still
on
lost
that.
to it. And so I think that's why because had he won, he would have gone the more serious route of continuing to face like people who aren't 57 years old. You know what I mean? But with that loss, I do think his perspective shifted to a point because it's like, now this is what I have to work with. I lost to
I
an
don't know
amateur
about
boxer
that.
that was actually a real boxer in training that was my age. That was, you know what I mean?
I
Right,
think
because before he faced clowns. Ben Askren, Tyron Woodley.
I don't know about clowns, dude.
Within the realm of boxing, if it was an MMA
okay.
fight, both those guys decimate him, of course. But
Um,
neither of them are boxers.
I don't know if he's shifted mentalities. I think his mentality is probably always to put the
Make money.
biggest fight on.
To make
And
money.
Tyson, like everyone's gonna freaking watch this.
I hear you, but I do think
that-
that like there was a point where he was prideful enough to like want to keep pushing the envelope of what he could accomplish in real boxing. That is separate from the promotional
still gonna be
side of
there.
things.
I think he's still doing that, but I think he's in a position where he's like,
I don't think
just...
a fixed fight with a 57-year-old is accomplishing that personally, but maybe that's just me.
I guess we're just gonna have to watch it.
I will tune in. There's no doubt. I will tune in to the clown fiesta.
He's still the most terrifying human. I don't care if he's 50 Cent. I was talking about this with my brother and a good friend earlier. Like, I don't care. I wouldn't fight Mike Tyson if he was in a coma. Like, I would still kick the shit out of him. Like, that guy terrifies me. He's absolutely horrifying from a fight perspective. So regardless, that's why I want to watch, because regardless of anything, he's the scariest human being on the planet.
There's training videos of him right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's freaking scary.
He's a beast.
And he always throws an extra 2 punches at his trainer's face after the pads are down. Like, bro, if I was holding pads for you, I'd be like, dude, stop doing that.
Listen, we're filming. You're going to have to eat those 2 extras. You know the deal.
Bro, I always see it. After he throws his combo, he throws 2 more up top, and it's like, bro. But they know. I guess he's so dialed in that he's like, I'm not going to hit you in the face, bro.
That's the fries and the drink that come with the combo, son. You don't know?
The secret sauce is him wearing skimpy boxer briefs when he works out. Do you see that?
He's from a different era. They used to let him hang.
He lets it hang, dude, for sure. Good for him, dude.
We will tune in. July 20th. There's still plenty of time.
We will tune in.
We will. I'm sure we'll see a lot of cringy promotional material between now and then.
And it's gonna break records, pay-per-view records,
no
for
doubt.
Sure.
Well,
and that's another thing about innovating. It's like, dude, they're doing it on Netflix.
Yeah, something different. Always something different.
I like that a lot. That's
crazy.
I want to know the details of that contract.
Shit ton of money.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, a lot of commas. A lot of commas.
All right.
All right. What else we got?
So this one, probably a little bit of a quick hitter on this, so I just thought it was interesting. Staying in the content creation realm, we have YouTuber Zeppla, I believe is what she goes by.
Okay.
She was demonetized by YouTube because YouTube has like an AI algorithm now that it scans your content and things with, and YouTube determined that she was an impersonator of herself. Nice. So they demonetized her for being an impersonator of her own channel. And I can play the video a little bit if you want, but she just explained the fact that not only is this happened to her once before with Twitch, and she thinks it stems back to she changed her hair color recently, and that's why it's happening. But the what she needs to go through to appeal the demonetization is ridiculous.
Yeah, this is the thing with YouTube and Google in general. Is like human beings don't actually work there. It's just like if you imagine the Machine City from the Matrix, that's actually Google headquarters. And so there's no one that you can talk to be like, hey, this is scuffed. Like, it's all preemptive forms, and you are just so beholden to their schedule to get back to you to fix anything, even if it's your livelihood. And I do think that this is like one of the biggest drawbacks to being a creator on YouTube specifically, is you just have little to no recourse when something like this happens. It's very frustrating. You have no idea how long you're going to be out of commission, if you even get it back at all, because there are plenty of horror stories on that front.
Even at 307,000 K, she doesn't have a YouTube guy. I always hear these big creators saying, I got a guy.
Yeah, no, there's no way you get a guy at 300K these days.
God.
I know.
Now, do you want to hear what she needs to do to appeal this?
Yeah, sure.
So she needs to film a video of her appeal.
Okay.
She needs to make sure it's in a supported language, is less than 5 minutes. She has to show or mention her current channel's URL within the first 30 seconds.
Okay.
She has to mention the specific feedback that the reviewer provided her and tell them why that decision was a mistake.
Okay.
And then there's like 2 caveats to that too, but so like, I'm surprised they didn't ask her to also like hold up a newspaper from today to prove that she's not an AI. Maybe tell her how many, like hold up a picture and say how many buses are in it. Like all of this to prove that she is indeed herself is a wild string of things to have to do.
Well, so, I mean, is this happening to a lot of people? Like, I don't get the how an AI thought she was impersonating herself on her own channel. What if I created my own avatar on my own channel? Who cares?
Very strange. Right. And I'm sure people are doing that and are not getting struck doing this. So it's very strange. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I could see it happening if you made like another channel that wasn't linked, right? And then you're making content.
Because it could be someone else taking your likeness. It's not just you running it. It could be someone else. Or
even uploading your content from somewhere else there that isn't currently on YouTube, because obviously they're scanning everything for pre-existing content, right? Like if I go into my studio, I can see people who have posted my content that exists on my channel on their channel.
Damn.
I see that.
Damn.
I don't do anything about it, but I see it. They're usually Russian channels. I don't know why. Probably because it's like Tarkov content to an extent, right? And some of it is like I'm in a bunch of compilations for different things, and that's fine. But then there's people that just do like my entire video and they're farming ad rev. And it's like, what are we doing here, man?
Well, I don't know. This girl. So they think she's a clone on her own channel. And that's an issue because
it took away her monetization.
No, it's an issue. I'm trying to put myself in YouTube in the Borg's mindset. Why is that an issue if you're AI on your own channel?
Well, I think
and someone is running your YouTube now, and we are looking out for you. But why is this an issue?
It was just something in the algorithm that she got caught on. So I guess don't dye your hair if you're going to be a YouTube content creator, because you might be considered a replica of yourself.
This poor girl, dude.
Yeah, it sucks. It really sucks.
Hopefully they fix it quick. If all they need is that video, hopefully she gets it to them and they get it worked out.
Hold your breath.
Yeah. Well, sorry. I hope she works it out. Zepla, good luck. Okay. I think we have a quick one last topic, and we got to make it quick.
I have a choose your own adventure because we got 2, but we don't got a lot of time left, so we can either continue on the social media trend or talk about a Google contest.
Let's do Google contest.
All right. So Google, they have announced their quantum contest, and basically they're teaming up with another company called X Prize, and they're launching a competition for a $5 million prize. Actually, it's quite substantial, for people to find practical uses for quantum computing. Okay. So, quantum computing is a relatively new thing. And there's a lot of research being done into quantum computing, but they're really asking for the community to be finding less abstract uses for the quantum computing that's specific to real world applications. So you don't even actually have to design the application or anything like that. The actual benefit behind this is just you need to come up with an idea that is the best idea as to how they can apply quantum computing, and you can win the coin purse.
Yeah, you know what's not the best idea? That you probably have to sign an agreement, and even if you don't win and they think it's a good idea, they're just going to take your idea and make money from it. Like
the
no thanks,
ultimate farm, dude.
Yeah.
Google's all about farming.
5 million, dude. You know how much Alphabet, that's the company that owns Google. You know how much they make yearly? Can you Google that? I don't know it, but I'm sure
probably find that,
a ton of money.
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously they benefit from this. I don't have a problem with them discussing like if these are. I think what's important here is that it's for humanity's benefit, quote unquote, but also that the ideas that are submitted are public.
They are public, but
all the ideas that are submitted are going to be viewable by the public?
Correct. And then who's got the bankroll to hyperspeed an idea into production and manufacturing and use?
Yeah. Of course, they're going to attempt to take advantage first on every
100%.
single one of these, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, progress for the sake of progress. Let it ride.
I hear you on that. I won't be entering the contest, but what's that number right there, Abe?
So Alphabet revenue for the 12 months ending in December 31st, 2023 was $307.394 billion.
Billion. $5 million. You could change the world and win this $5 million. And if you don't win, we're going to steal your idea anyway. Good luck with it. There should be 10 winners. There should be 10 winners for $20 million each.
Or it's just like, whatever we manage to monetize, you can have a percent. Good luck.
It's not a bad idea either. You're on the payroll. Bada
bing, bada boom.
Yeah, it's probably worth a little bit more than $5 million in the long run. I'll tell you that much.
That's what I'm saying.
307.
You're going with what's his name from Shark Tank?
Mark Cuban.
He's always trying to get. He's always trying. No, not Cuban.
Mr. Handsome.
Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah, Mr. Wonderful. You gotta get a little piece of the action forever.
I like him. That's Kevin, right?
Kevin. Yeah.
I like him a lot.
Yeah.
I like him more than Mark Cuban.
I like Mark.
Yeah, I know you do.
I like Mark.
I know you do.
I'm a fan of the cubes too.
Yeah, he's impossible to dislike. How anyone could dislike Mark Cuban is crazy to me. But
I got some stuff. I'll talk to you after. All right. So here's what I suggest, and you can shoot me down. I pitched you an idea last week on how we could make a concept to maybe wrap the show. We got about 4 minutes left. You want to see if anything is entertaining and readable in that chat? I saw a few things pass by.
I can take a look if you'd like.
Give it a spin. I got to deal with most of these guys on the daily anyway.
We did have a comment that made me laugh from Growl that said, "Whoa, a green screen is green?" Question mark.
Okay.
So
insightful knowledge from Slum the Professional.
Oh my.
Wondering what we were talking about as far as a Tyson fighting a Jake Paul, when Jake Paul fighting a Fury. The question was brought up whether or not it was Nick Fury. That would, of course, be the character from the Avengers.
Okay.
Come on, let's pick one that could stir.
Yeah,
maybe
the reason we
stir
don't
up a
read
final
these
conversation.
live while we're in the weeds.
Yeah, I'm looking for something that's
Chat
very.
did underline the fact that this will of course be an exhibition fight, so it doesn't affect Tyson's record, just like his previous one versus Roy Jones.
Yeah. I think it's obvious. I think it is an obvious thing that this is not.
It's okay for it to be an exhibition fight. I still want to see these dudes try to knock each other out.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't know that will be the case, or that he's even allowed to be.
No.
Let him swing, bro.
Dude, the guy's 57, but also I'm not worried about him.
I'm not worried about him either. That's not who I'm talking about getting knocked out.
The internet wants to see Jake Paul get knocked out. That's all we want. That's why we keep watching these things.
I don't know, dude.
Say all the nice things you want. I agree with all of them, but damn, bro, that would be fun to watch.
It would be fun to watch.
Mike still got it, baby.
I'm a big fan of both of them.
His defense is impregnable. Damn it, Slum.
You ever see when he told the girl, the reporter? Dude, I don't say it,
not appropriate.
But it's freaking hilarious.
Do your own research.
All right, let's end on this one. Whiskey Jack, what did he say to insult me? Slum struggles putting himself in a normal human mindset. Can't wait to hear what comes out of the Borg man. Okay, what a fabulous one to take time and read, Whiskey.
Well, especially when you're that handsome. Right?
You guys know what the Borg is, right?
Not a normal experience.
Yeah.
Mark, do you know what the Borg is?
The gigantic jugs that kids have at the university these days, and then they name them cool things.
No,
everyone has a name for their Borg.
The Borg is basically
different perspectives.
90% of the population right now. I'll just put it at that.
It's like a cyborg race from Star Trek.
No, that's not. That is such a minimal simplification that's not even accurate. It is a bunch of people stuck into one main brain. So it's one thing.
They got a hive mind.
Projected. Exactly. Okay. The Borg.
The Borg's got a hive mind.
So besides all that, Markstrom.
Yeah.
How you doing? What's going on in the future? Anything interesting coming up?
How you been?
How you doing? How you been?
Life is good. I will say that we have some very fun things planned for Tark streams over the next couple of weeks that I'm excited to dive into. We also have some content coming out on the tube. We also have Gamers Outreach about 3 weeks away right now. April 6th and 7th, we'll be raising money for Gamers Outreach at Gamers for Giving 2024, a live annual event where we raise money to bring gaming to kids in hospitals. So if you'd like to check that out, twitch.tv/Markstrom. Down the panels, we have a little charity tab. If you want to learn more about that, we'd love for you to swing through. And if you got a couple of pennies set aside for the kids, that would be awesome to throw them our way on April 6th or 7th.
We're gonna need more than pennies though. Keep that in mind.
Yeah,
bring those hefty pockets.
Oh yeah.
Abe, how about you, dude?
Well, I'm excited for the charity, just the charity streams, just because I don't know if you guys have ever seen Mark's YouTube content or the video that he put out showing kind of him walking through the hospital and some of the things he's done for the kids. It's absolutely awesome. Those kids are in a bad spot. This is a great way to lift them up. So yeah, definitely tune in, donate. What was the record? Like 60,000 or something like that?
For us, so we've done a few different types of events. We did an 18-day streamathon where I lived in the studio and we raised money, and that was 70,000. But we have done a weekend event. Our very first weekend event, we raised 43,000. So in just a 2-day period. So I am hopeful that I don't expect anything like that. But we are 14 grand away from a bit of a vanity metric, if you will, to hit $250,000 as a community, and that would be an awesome accomplishment and achievement for everyone involved. And I think it'd be a big feels good, man. So if we're looking at horizon goals, that's what the eyes are on.
I got an idea.
Yeah, what do you got?
Give me a budget,
okay,
and I'm gonna market this thing. And not necessarily we can market the stream, sure. But let's market a freaking donate button with a nice video that says what they're donating for.
Okay.
And let's target some rich people.
All right, bro. I know you're getting
let's
nice with the
freaking do
targeting.
it, dude.
Yeah, let's work some of that Google data.
Yeah.
Do the right thing,
the
Mark
kids,
Cuban.
Dude.
Let's use
Do
Google.
the right thing, Mark Cuban.
Yeah, Mark Cuban. Where you at?
We know you're listening. Do the right thing.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I'm excited for that as well. That's it's always a fun time. And actually,
and that's of course over at twitch.tv/Markstrom.
Yes, it is. And I'm a big fan of it, and I'm very happy that you do that stuff. So thank you for doing that stuff, Markstrom.
My pleasure.
I will also be there, so it'll be a fun time. Besides that, I make media production. The link will be in the description. We make some pretty sick stuff. We sell coffee. That's also pretty tasty. But right now, what I'm really, really interested in is this podcast. We do this podcast every week, unless Markstrom has a baby or Abe goes on vacation. And what I'm going to ask you, would you kindly hit that subscribe button, share this video with your mom, sister, brother, whoever, share with your friends, share with your auntie, hit that subscribe button, and keep coming back. We appreciate it. We have a good time every week, and it has been another wonderful, wonderful podcast. So until next time, we will see you. Peace.
Deuces.